I'm not gonna lie, there's a good amount of gear that goes through this channel, and the majority of the time when I'm trying a new piece of gear, I have lukewarm feelings about it. Now I want to make something super clear, like crystal Pepsi clear. I love making videos, I think right up there with as much as I love playing guitar and tinkering with guitar gear. But, and especially in the world of digital multi-effects units, there are so many on the market and there are constantly different versions being released. So much so that it can be hard to get excited about this year's new iteration of 𝗦𝗤𝗔𝗡𝗖𝗔 Stomp. I mean, it's got more foot switches, I guess? Anyways, when I finally, after many requests from you amazing viewers, bought the BOSS GT1000 Core, I was genuinely excited. I had seen so many people praising their AIRD technology that I thought it had to be the best thing since sliced bread. I rushed to get the package in the door, opened it up, plugged in some headphones and my guitar, and, well, I kind of had to figure this thing out. Now, I'm not above reading instructions, but I've played on enough of these types of units that I normally don't need to read instructions. Not the case with the GT1000 Core. If you're like me and you like to start with a blank canvas and experiment, I'd recommend starting with a preset and seeing how it works before you dive in. It took me a little bit to get the hang of having your output settings be where your cabinet options are. And really just the whole way that cabinets and IRs are handled in general, it's just kind of a mess. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a BOSS product, and if you are looking for great sounds and amazing routing and flexibility, I really don't think you can beat this in its price range. But if you are like me and looking for a user-friendly experience, well then, this might not be for you either. What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Taylor, and like the title says, I really wanted to like the BOSS GT1000 Core. I think BOSS makes really cool stuff. I just didn't vibe with this thing so much, but I'm really curious and I want to hear from you guys what you think about BOSS products, specifically when it comes to the GT1000 series of products. I want to know your guys' experiences if you have any, and also, do you want to see the GX100 that just released on the channel? If that's something you guys want to see, definitely let me know down in the comments below, and let's get this guy hooked up. I plugged into the BOSS GT1000 Core. I have an 𝗬𝗓𝗟 amp dialed up here, if you can see these settings in that camera. One of the things I have a hard time with the GT1000 Core is it's really difficult to see the screen. You have to be like looking directly at it to see it, so hopefully you can see it in that camera that's up there. I'm using a power amp pedal from This Heavy Earth Effects powering this 𝗦𝗤𝗘 4x12 cabinet. I have two SM57s on this cabinet, switching it up today a little bit. Mic'd up in the Fredman configuration. I'm using my Deviant Guitars Grimoire. It has an EMG 81 in the bridge and an 85 in the neck. That's what it sounds like. So what we have going on here with the amp, it's really, I just have an EQ on here, and you know what, I'm gonna bypass this EQ. That way we're not messing with the preamp sounds that are coming out of the GT1000 Core. We're just listening to the raw preamp tones. Like I said, this is Bogner 𝗬𝗓𝗟. Let's throw a boost on in front of this. And for the type here, a lot of really cool distortions in here. Obviously BOSS makes a lot of really cool pedals, so they are emulated in the distortion sounds. But I think we're gonna go with a pedal that BOSS didn't make. I think we're just gonna go with a tube screamer here. I'm kind of losing an incredible amount of low end with this boost in front. Let's just try a different amplifier. Let's try this rectifier stack with the same settings. sounds awesome. And none of the issues that I have with the GT1000 Core have anything to do with what it sounds like, because it sounds great. Like, this sounds just as good as the best modeling units that are on the market right now. It sounds better than the Katana, in my opinion. But what most of my issues come down to with the GT1000 Core have to do with the user experience. Because if you don't enjoy using something, why are you gonna wanna use it? You know what I mean? Let's do one more amp here. And this one's pretty cool. I think this one's kind of unique to the BOSS GT1000 Core. It's this 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏 amplifier. And this has the same settings that rectifier had. Whoa, shit, it's loud. And it does have this sort of like spongy feeling that definitely makes it feel a little bit more, you know, alive when you're playing it. It doesn't really feel like flat and sterile. But let's plug it into my computer, and then I'm gonna go over some of the other pros and cons that I have with this unit. So let's go do that. I have the BOSS Tone Studio application open to control the GT1000 Core. We're gonna start off here, and I'm gonna show you a bunch of the different presets. And the reason being is because I think it's a really good way to get an idea of what this unit is capable of. If you look here at all the effects that we have in the signal chain and all the different options, you can see how this could get pretty crazy in terms of routing and just how capable the GT1000 Core is. I'm on the shred lead patch, and this is what it sounds like. Sounds pretty good. We don't have a crazy amount of stuff going on in this signal chain here. We have a distortion active, that is a mid boost. We have an 𝗦𝗏 amp. This is a modded Marshall style amplifier. We have a noise gate. We have our master delay over here, and that is on the dual type. We have a reverb here, and that is on room 1. Nothing really crazy. Also, I just want to mention for this portion of the video, in terms of the master output here, we're going to keep this on line phones, which is going to match our cabinet emulation with whatever amp that we're using. Now you can go to recording here, or if you have this going in front of an amplifier or in the return of an amplifier, there are tons of different options for that down here. We're not going to get into those, but you could go to this recording option here, and that will allow you to change your speaker type to whichever you want, the original being the paired speaker with the amplifier you're using. I mean, you can even turn it off if you want to, especially if you're running into a power amp or something like that. You can even load up your own IRs. Now, real quick, if you want to load up your own IRs, you'd think it would be as easy as dragging and dropping them in. No, it's not. You actually need a second piece of software for this, and that is the GT1000 IR loader. So with the GT1000 IR loader, you can load up your own IRs, and that will put them on the unit. It's a little bit unusual to need a second piece of software to load up your own IRs, but that's the way it's done in the GT1000. Okay, we're gonna go into a really complex signal chain here in just a second, but I just wanna show you how you can grab these blocks and move them around. Let's say we wanna boost these amplifiers. Maybe we wanna throw our distortions. That means we actually have to go and look at all these different blocks here and find the distortions. Let's throw a clean boost on one, and we'll set it up like that maybe, and turn that on. And then let's do turbo OD on the other side, and we'll set it up similar, turn it on. That's not bad, but let's go here into our first divider. That's what that DIV stands for. And let's switch that to single mode here. And so now we're only using channel A. And what's cool about this is you can set this up to be an amp switcher. So maybe you want channel A to be a distorted amp, and you want channel B to be a clean amp. If you go into the control/expression here, you can actually assign this, go down here and go to your divider 1 channel select, and now that's your control 1 button on the BOSS GT1000 Core unit. So now I can press the control 1 button on the unit, and that will change the channels on here. And you can assign that to any of the buttons. I just chose control 1 because it was the first one in that list there. So I think that's a really cool feature, especially in this price range, the fact that you can go in between two completely different amplifiers in the same patch without having to switch patches and have that momentary lag between patches and all that. It's just right there. I want to load up a patch here that just has a bunch of crazy stuff going on. and that way I can kind of show you guys how complex these signal chains can get. Okay, this is pretty complex, and this isn't even nearly as complex as you can get with these things, but we're running directly into a compressor here. It's just an XComp, there are the settings. And then that gets split. This is our first divider that we have in the chain here, and it's running in dual mode, meaning we're running into both of these left and right lines here. On the right side, we have an acoustic guitar sim that is running into a transparent preamp type and into a noise gate. On the left side, we're running into another divider and two different effects. One is a sitar sim and one is a defretter. And that is being mixed here. They're both at 100%, so it's just mixing them evenly back into the signal. And then we're going into an amp, 𝗦𝗍𝗰𝗠𝗏. Some really amazing tones with the GT1000 Core. I also think it has killer effects in it. It is super versatile. You could do a ton of different things with it. The main reason that I didn't vibe with it was just the user experience. It has a really steep learning curve compared to most of the other modelers that I've tried on my channel. And I think the perfect example, what really sums up what I'm talking about, is just the fact that you have to have a second piece of software just to load IRs onto the unit. All right, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know by hitting the like button and leaving a comment below. If you really like my channel, there are all sorts of ways that you can help it out down in the description. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.